Hi guys, Matt from the Big River here. We got a pretty big order of specialty fish this week for our freshwater. We didn't do saltwater or reptile this week, but we did pick up a bunch of dry goods. I got like 6 pallets of new stuff in this week. First thing out of this box is guppies, assorted female guppies. Make sure we have something to look at over there. Oh, that's a privacy bag. I bet you that is, look at that, it's a discus. Got a pair of powder blue 3-inch discus this week for you guys. Here's another one. Nope, that's not it. Oh, wow, look at you. A little on the skinny side, but that is a Synodontis angelicus, which has become one of the rarest of the Synos in the hobby. I mean, ones that are actually in the hobby. There's probably 50 that never ever reach the hobby. But the polka dot Synodontis is, or the Synodontis angelicus, one of the most sought after Synodontis in the hobby. Black angelfish, another thing that's harder to get than you would think. Another discus. There he is. Looking good. Nice and blue. And what else we got here? Vampire shrimp. I love vampire shrimp. Also called blue wood shrimp. I got a couple other common names for them. Get big. They're a filter feeder. They get big like yay, and they are totally safe with other fish. They just got to be able to get some filter feeding going on. These are zebra otocincus. Got 3 different types of ottos on this order today. The zebras being the first out of the box. Itty bitty cardinal tetras. These are wild from Brazil. Gotta love our Brazilian cardinals. Tiny, tiny. Had a few people ask that we get the wild ones as opposed to just the tank raised ones. They tend to be just a little bit more vibrant, so that might be the reason why. Though they do come in a lot smaller. Here are pygmy cories. They've been absent from our order lists for a couple months, so I'm very happy to have some of those to share this week. We've been lumping not having any of our dwarf cories. Hopefully we'll be able to get some of the other types in soon too. It seems like the season for that sort of thing is coming, partly because that's when they're being harvested from the wild, but partly because October is the official kickoff to the tropical fish season when things start ramping up in our industry. That's super red severum. Never been in a river. Super red severum are a very bright cultivar of a severum. That's a monster in the making. Silver arowana will be very large eventually. Remember, 4 feet. We got Floyd over there. That's an Australian arowana. Give you an idea of just how big they can get. Look at you guys, they're so cute. These are dwarf lucipinus or dwarf petricolae, or they call them lucipinus synodontis. Love our African cats, lots of different types. Here's another super red seven for you. Got 4 or 5 types of African cat in right now. Here is another big fish in the making. This is a black ghost knife, only about 14 inches instead of 48 inches, so only big compared to what they are now. Red severum, also super red. Got a nice little group of those guys. Here's another one. What's in here? More catfish, but tiny catfish. These are the dwarf anchor cats, or anchor moth cat, they'll call them also. Very fun little nano fish. Don't get bigger than about that. So itty bitty fish, another super red severum. And I think we're at the end of our super red severums. This is another tiny fish, Peru orange otocinculus, or para otocinculus. Oh, they're putting them in Nanotopoma. I thought they're Paraotocinculus, but they're Nanotopoma species Peru 1, if you want to get technical, which I never like getting technical except for when pushed. These are veil-tailed bettas. Got a nice group of our inexpensive bettas in this week. And some snails. These are little ninjas, assassin snails. Gotta have them. Get rid of your bladder snails. At least I can help with that. I lied. We have one more super red severum. And another black ghost knife. So a couple double ups there, or single bags. What's in here? Little fish. These are neon blue rasboras, or Sundondanio goblinus. I just love saying that name. Any kind of goblins touches on too many nerddoms for me. So not absolutely adore. Sundondanio goblinus is the blue version of the neon micro rasbora. Very cute little guys. A little on the delicate side, but they don't get over maybe 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch total. So very fun for your nano tank. I like them in a planted tank. They get a blue sheen as opposed to a green sheen. They've got a cousin that's more green, though we don't see those as often. It used to be the other way around, but that seems to be what's available right now. Wild Juraparis. This is St. Neporica Japari. Used to be the quintessential Geophagus, but they got split into the St. Neporica group. They're an earth eater. Very cool. Medium-large cichlid. They're Radocori. I just love these guys. I love their little high fin and their little polka dots. Remind me of the Atropersonatus, but with a high fin, a little lighter spots. Oh, look at this guy. It's a POW. A couple years back, they separated Tetroodon, which is all the puffers, into Tetroodon and POW. POWs are the Asiatic puffers. They're the lineated, I think they call them. Anyway, this guy is called a big spot. POW species Chao River. I'm not familiar with that river because I've never been there, but it's in Thailand, and it's got a big distinctive tail spot on its belly. Very cool, very unusual puffer. Okay, get off the puffer, go to the half moon candy female. Betta's beautiful, nice pink fish this week. And next is Siamese algae eaters, tiny little guys. They'll get about 4 inches. Great for your hair algae and your larger planted tanks. Here's some clown loaches, restock on those guys. I love clown loaches. They get monstrous. Most people don't understand just how massive a fish they can be, a full foot long, and they want to be in a big school. Dwarf grammies, just the regular dwarf grammies. Haven't seen those in a little while. For some reason, only the powder blue and the royal blues have been available, though we do have a couple of the flames right now. Last batch of autos for this order, but not nearly the end of the order. This is some of the bumblebee autos. Fantastic little fish. We ran out a little bit ago, got some more for any of you guys who are looking for nano autos. Rainbow shark rounds out that box. Rainbow shark gets bigger than you might expect. Oftentimes we have those returned after they start getting aggressive in a community tank. They'll do okay in a semi to aggressive tank. I've seen them actually hold their own in an African cichlid tank. That's just how aggressive they can be when they're full size. Over 4 inches, sometimes 6 to 7 inches on those guys, so more often 4 to 5 inches. Bigger, more aggressive fish than most people give them credit to be. Very cool though, bright colors and active, just not very friendly with your other fish. Next up is some more dwarf grammies. These are dwarf grammy females, powder blue dwarf grammy females. Got a restock on those guys. More grammies. Got quite a few grammies on this order. These are the gold grammies. Remember, gold grammies are a big fish. 5 to 7 inches is not unlikely for a dwarf grammy. Or excuse me, for a regular grammy. Dwarf grammy's about 3 inches. Forked tail loach. Haven't had these in a while. Very interesting. Almost look like a coolie loach with a forked tail on them. A little bigger though. They get about this long. Neat little fish. Look almost like a catfish rather than a loach. Here's a Celestial Pearl Daniel batch. Restock on those. Ran out last week. Gotta have them. The quintessential nano fish. Look like little Dolly Varden trouts. Here is a clown barb. We have not had clown barbs in the store 3 or 4 years probably. Clown barbs are very bright, beautiful barb. I don't know why I haven't had them, but now I do, so I guess I don't have to worry about it anymore. Glass cats. Gotta love the skeleton crew. Look, a little pink there. Yeah. Just the way the light was going through them. Very cool. Love us some glass cats. Next up is some more dwarf grammies. These are the honey dwarf grammies. The regular version, kind of gray one to this side. They get a beautiful, beautiful color when they get a little more mature. Not quite as stark or eye-catching as the sunsets at that size though. Turquoise rainbows. Looks like a nice little batch of those guys. Got a couple over there, gonna augment that. Got a couple of adults too. People have been asking me for my adults. I'm gonna tell you, when I get display fish, we don't sell display fish cheap because amazingly, the little fish look more attractive when there's display fish. Blueberry tetra. This is a tetra we have not had before. This is a Hyperus obricon wade. They call it a blueberry. Looks kind of pink right now, but it'll looks reminiscent of like a black and blue tetra or a bleeding blue tetra. So very neat. Mildly expensive schooling fish, medium size, a little bit smaller than a bleeding heart, free swimming tetra with a kind of a purpley blue color. I've been kind of targeting unusual tetras because, you know, I've unpacked rummies and cardinals, and neons, black neons. Even something a little less common like lemon tetras. So many times for you guys, I thought it would be interesting to find something you hadn't seen before. Green laser cory is not something you probably never saw before, but don't see them that often. Or mildly expensive, very beautiful cory. And yo-yo loaches. I got an extra batch of these this week because I had somebody want some for snail patrol for a giant display tank in town. So we got lots of yo-yos for you guys to check out. Senegal bikers, that's your quintessential dinosaur biker. We say they can get 2 feet, usually closer to 12 inches full size on those guys, so you know the gun's loaded anytime you get them. Make sure you have a proper place for them. The other half of that cardinal batch, those are the tank raised cardinals. Green water here, what's going on? Tiger barbs, looks like they just got a little messy in the trip, but they look like they weathered just fine. A couple more veil-tailed bettas for you. And let's see, those are sunset honey dwarf. No, these are the fire honey dwarf grammies. Got sunsets. No, I did not get sunsets this week. I got the fires, I got the regular honeys, I got the sunsets in stock. Here's a pleco offering for you. These are the L52 Adapo butterflies. Inexpensive flounder, they'll call them, or they'll also call them a chameleon because they'll change color in front of your eye. Very neat little pleco. Actually eat some biofilm too. Yo-yo loach, that's the other half of that batch I promised you. Let's get these back in a box and we'll go with another 2 boxes to go here. But wait, there's more. Always more cool stuff to share here at the Big River. Let's see what we got. All right. This might be a sweat out day. That many fish to unpack. Oh my goodness, those are hognose brooches. Hognose brooches are the multiradiatus, largest of the cory relatives. You can get 6 inches. These guys are about 2.5, 3 inches. So that is your multiradiatus hognose brooches. Here, well, I promised you 3 types of autos, then I quit at 2. There's the third, the common auto. Gotta have them. The best option for taking brown algae out of your planted tanks or other tanks. Threadfin rainbow, back to the rainbows. Thread fins have that beautiful long thready fins, make them very attractive for a dwarf rainbow. Here's another betta. Oh boy. All right, sure, I'm gonna spend some time on him. Fantastic looking fish. Let's see, who's in here? Oh, some more Brochus radiatus. They split those into 2 because they tend to poke holes in the bag. I like to get them into school anyway. Here's some more cories. He who dies with the most cories wins, and there's a lot available this week. These are the Arcuatus. Actually, they're not Arcuatus, they're Granty, but they call them the Peru Arcuatus, or the Peru skunk cory. The Arcuatus is from Colombia, Brazil. The ones from Peru, they call them Granty. I'm not sure if there's any difference on the insides rather than where they're from. They look on the outside like the same fish. So instead of calling them a Peru skunk cory, they call them a Peru Arcuatus just to confuse us. Makes it challenging when I look them up on in our POS because, you know, which part do we say? More cories. These are the CW10 laser orange cories, also called a laser gold. CW10 on those. There's also another variant in there. Big black spotted eel. Somebody's asking me about some of these types. There's a bunch of different types of these Masticumbius. This is the day-eye black spotted, gorgeous eel. Nice size on him. Very cool fish. Heterodon, or excuse me, Trigonostoma heteromorphia. That's a Harlequin raspora, also called raspora het. And more cories? Yeah, you know it. Well, these are another Brochus. Brochus are a cory relative, or just a group of cories that are slightly adjacent. They're the emerald cory, the most common of the Brochus. And the last thing on this order is a couple of giant ropefish. Compared to the babies we had last time that were about that big, these guys are really quite large. Remember, your ropefish can be about 2 feet and about as big around as a skinny broom, so make sure you have room for that. That's what we have for fish this week, guys.